The estranged husband of Remy Ma just dropped a messy track preview, whining about getting backdoored yet again. Honestly, the sheer nerve of this man is wild. Today, we are dragging Pap, famously known as Remy Ma's husband, or, to be totally real nowadays, her government-arranged spouse. Now, depending on which side of TikTok you land on, some fans call him porn post, while others straight up label him Pap smear. Ever since Remy Ma blew the lid off that scandalous drama involving Pap and Claressa Shields, the internet has been completely obsessed with tracking his every desperate move.
When God is on your side, there is nothing or nobody that can stop you. When God is on your side, there is nobody that can stop you. It's meant to be. You can't stop what God has commanded to happen. You can't stop it. Keep trying. Keep trying. Keep trying. You're going to keep failing. Keep trying.
Ever since that scandal completely took over the internet, Pap has been serving these random snippet teasers left and right. Whether he is flexing in his ride or chilling in some basic setting, his messy captions always get the comment section buzzing. He keeps dropping what the shade rooms call subliminal shots, preaching stuff like, go review your legal paperwork and check the small letters. It is just a whole load of dramatic riddles meant to keep everyone playing detective. We all saw him uploading footage desperately trying to fake hype New York or screaming about the Knicks just to stay remotely relevant. Now, he is suddenly hyper-focused on recycling his ancient discography, pushing tracks from 2 decades ago just to milk whatever is left in his dusty vault. Then you have those random moments where Busta Rhymes attempts to throw him a lifeline by dragging him onto a track remix that was already a massive, undeniable smash. It is honestly hilarious. When an anthem is already pulling insane streaming stats, a remix is completely useless because the organic version is already clearing charts and getting massive radio play. Let's be real, this lazy feature is probably the only real reaction we will ever get from him regarding those brutal diss tracks Remy Ma unleashed on him and Claressa Shields. Instead of standing up and answering the heavy allegations, Pap chooses to hide behind some tragic victim narrative about being betrayed from behind. This is precisely where the entire timeline gets extremely messy when analyzing both him and Claressa Shields. Weekly, these problematic public figures run straight to TikTok, trying to spin a completely fabricated reality to rewrite history. They either construct this deeply delusional self-defense narrative, or they completely leave out the most incriminating receipts. Naturally, every single villain suddenly tries to play the innocent martyr the second the culture begins demanding real receipts. I literally hit the fast forward option the second this teaser started playing, because I was rolling my eyes like, please, wrap it up. Can this man actually drop the full track? Give us real bars. Can you tell us what you are actually mad about, Pap? That is what the entire industry is waiting for. It is ridiculous watching these corny promotional rollouts and vague rants constantly cluttering our feeds. All while this is happening, Claressa Shields is teasing some random secret project. Ra Ali is allegedly spotted filming a visual, and Pap is out here acting like he has unlimited time to drop useless snippets. But let's look at the real mystery everyone is actually debating. Who is this track actually targeting? Who are these bitter subliminals really meant for? When you start crying that your blood relatives can set you up, your inner circle can betray you, your childhood friends can fold, and your actual wife can cross you, your audience is obviously going to start digging into which specific messy situation birthed these exact lines. That is the exact reason the internet is pausing and putting the pieces together. So, is this track really an unexpected shot at Claressa Shields? That is the ultimate mystery. Seriously, what is the grand plan here? What point is he attempting to prove? The second you start screaming about betrayal and backstabbing, your audience is automatically going to start investigating who you are throwing shade at and what real-world drama triggered the studio session. The main reason the internet is doubting this narrative is that both Pap and Claressa Shields have been drowning in endless public scandals for absolute years now. That is exactly why the comment section is so shocked to hear these innocent, victimized concepts suddenly appearing in his bars. If this rollout is targeting someone in particular, fans are absolutely going to decode every single syllable to solve the puzzle. A massive portion of the online commentary leads straight back to those messy rumors tracking Pap and Claressa Shields' secret situationship and the chaotic fallout that ruined everything. The blogs always remind us that Claressa Shields actively pretended to be close friends with Remy Ma right before the entire affair leaked to the press, which explains why the backlash got so incredibly intense when the truth dropped. Even seasons later, the Shade Room is still recycling those exact receipts and linking that old mess directly to this current situation. Outside of that drama, Claressa Shields has built a whole reputation on public beefs, intense rivalries, and endless feuds with various figures across her entire career. Depending on which side of Twitter you ask, her fan base and her haters view her chaotic track record through completely different lenses. Her stans view her as a fearless woman who speaks her truth and never retreats, while her critics argue she desperately manufactures toxic drama just to stay in the headlines. There are also non-stop arguments over her actual legacy in women's boxing, her messy public persona, and the aggressive way she claps back on Instagram. Those viral debates keep generating massive heat the second her name touches the trending topics. Whether you are rooting for her or preying on her downfall, she remains one of the most polarizing figures in sports entertainment. And literally every single new rumor brings a brand new tidal wave of toxic commentary from both obsessed fans and furious haters alike.
Oh no! Oh! When I take my highest in my ass!
If you believe the blogs, the long list of people Claressa Shields has allegedly cut off over the seasons definitely does not stop there. There have been massive public feuds involving ex-besties, close relatives, and several others who used to run in her immediate circle. A few alliances seem to have survived the drama, while multiple others have completely crashed and burned. Like always, the second massive checks, career highs, and mainstream media attention enter the frame, the internet starts forming totally wild theories about the shady reality behind closed doors. There's also an endless supply of messy, unresolved mysteries that keep recycling on the timeline. For instance, the Shade Room constantly revives various scandalous claims, tea and blind items that have cluttered Twitter for years. Whether those toxic rumors are factual or totally fabricated, they immediately dominate the comments section the second her name starts trending. Moving on to Pap. The most brutal backlashes thrown his way focus entirely on his marriage to Remy Ma and his sketchy handling of her music career. Many industry insiders openly question whether he was actually helping elevate her brand, or if the entire professional setup was just a parasitic hustle designed to elevate his own name. Those exact callouts got infinitely louder the second their public separation turned into a massive front-page media circus. Day one fans of Remy Ma constantly point back to shady statements she dropped regarding terrible business calls and management disasters as solid proof that she was completely fed up with his leeching behavior. From their viewpoint, she reached a breaking point where she realized her worth, cut off the dead weight, and chose to pivot in a completely new direction both creatively and romantically. Then came the non-stop viral gossip surrounding his immediate family dynamics, which quickly turned into another chaotic talking point on the timeline. Endless accusations and wild rumors have surfaced targeting their household drama, parenting choices, and private family issues. It is crucial to remember that a lot of these messy receipts remain highly unverified and are mostly based on angry rants from the actual parties, rather than certified, proven facts. Regardless, these toxic narratives continue to spark nonstop warfare among casual stans who eagerly track every single update regarding this messy public divorce. And if even a fraction of the gossip floating around TikTok is accurate, it perfectly explains why he is seemingly banned from spending time around certain family members. That is exactly why these messy breakdowns pull insane engagement from commentators and casual viewers alike. The internet has zero filter regarding this disaster, and absolutely nobody is biting their tongue when typing out their opinions. I have also watched countless commentators argue that Pap has repeatedly burned crucial bridge after crucial bridge for years, desperately trying to manipulate his way into elite industry circles. The biggest critique is that despite all his tactical moves, fake alliances, and desperate networking, his actual career output has never matched his massive ego. That is the core reason his name is constantly dragged whenever these old scandals start trending again. One of the most devastating questions the culture keeps asking is brutal. What is Pap's actual brand identity without his wife? The massive majority of the public only recognizes him as Remy Ma's plus one, and more recently, as the third wheel in that embarrassing drama with Clarissa Shields. Fair or completely toxic. That is exactly what the internet chooses to focus on nowadays. Which brings us right back to his desperate new track teaser. A lot of listeners are openly wondering if these trash lyrics were birthed by the devastating backlash that hit after his marital secrets leaked to the press. Was he arrogant enough to assume the cheating would stay hidden? Did he really think the internet would go easy on him? That is exactly the kind of roasting he has been receiving ever since the cheating receipts and messy allegations began dominating headlines. The blog speculate he genuinely believed his marital drama would just magically blow over, just like all the previous toxic incidents in their relationship. But once the latest scandalous details dropped and the culture completely locked in, the whole situation became impossible to sweep under the rug. That is when the spotlight turned blindingly bright, and every single IG post, desperate track snippet, and random public appearance started getting aggressively dissected by internet detectives. We are also seeing non-stop call-outs regarding sketchy finances, terrible business management, and messy personal behavior. Endless accusations have been hurled over the years by different individuals caught up in this storm, even if his team tries to deny the receipts. Regardless, the rumors have completely ruined his public reputation and triggered furious debates regarding Pap's actual guilt in this ongoing reality show. His harshest critics have exposed a laundry list of grievances over the years, tracking his money moves, failed relationships, and shady choices. According to the streets, there are permanent questions regarding his lack of accountability, fake maturity, and how terribly he managed situations behind closed doors. Those loud criticisms have grown deafening now that the dirty laundry is being aired out on the timeline. That is exactly why the comment section is deeply confused by the actual message hidden inside this new song teaser. If the lyrics are all about getting backdoored, fans are scratching their heads because from where we are sitting, the vast majority of Pap's downfall stems from messy decisions he made himself out in the open. That is why the culture is completely refusing to buy this pathetic victim angle he is trying to push in his bars. To anyone paying attention, this rollout feels like a desperate attempt to rewrite his villain arc instead of standing up and facing the music. Whether you agree or not, that is the exact energy clapping back from every corner of Twitter. Every single new teaser he drops just triggers a brand new wave of arguments over who he is subbing and what he is hiding. But what really exposed the desperation was the actual comment section. When I first loaded up the preview, the timeline was flooded with fans dragging his entire existence. But when I refreshed the page later, eagle-eyed viewers noticed that the most brutal callouts had mysteriously vanished into thin air. Naturally, that panic deletion triggered an even bigger conspiracy online. One viral comment hilariously joked, "Come pick up your clothes," while other accounts openly question why he keeps spamming the internet with useless song snippets when absolutely none of them are actually moving the needle or charting. And honestly, those savage reactions tell you everything about his current standing in the culture. The audience is completely exhausted by the endless teasers, corny riddles, and passive-aggressive subliminals. Fans want direct facts instead of another clunky marketing stunt designed to bait the gossip blogs. It also perfectly validates a savage point that Remy Ma herself previously hinted at. That Pap is completely trapped in the past, clinging to decades-old accolades instead of building any real contemporary momentum. The internet is still asking about all those imaginary executive positions and major industry deals he bragged about for years. Whether it is independent music ventures, corporate entertainment roles, or tech investments, people want to know why those plans evaporated into thin air. For his haters, that stagnant energy is exactly why these pathetic song previews are getting laughed at in the first place. If you ask his critics, Pap is completely stuck in a creative time capsule, running on the exact same treadmill he was on 20 years ago. And that is where the deep frustration comes from. Fans look at the rest of the hip-hop landscape and see actual icons evolving into corporate powerhouses, media moguls, and multi-million-dollar investors. They watch real rappers building generational empires that stretch far beyond the recording booth. Look at legendary figures like Nas, who became a venture capital king, or Jay-Z, whose massive billionaire status has entirely eclipsed his discography. LL Cool J successfully transitioned into a Hollywood powerhouse decades ago, and Queen Latifah built an untouchable empire across television networks, film studios, and corporate boardrooms. The golden rule for survival is constant growth and professional evolution. True artists always find a way to reinvent themselves and dominate a brand new chapter. That is exactly why the culture continues to question Pap's long-term hustle. From their perspective, if your music career has zero momentum, why are you not pivoting to a brand new lane? Why not launch an actual corporation, back a real startup, or establish a powerful identity away from a mic? Those are the exact questions that dominate the timeline whenever his name starts trending. Another massive debate constantly circulating the blog centers around his actual net worth and financial stability. The streets frequently wonder what projects are actually funding his lifestyle and what his primary stream of income even is nowadays. That curiosity is pretty standard for a legacy artist, but in Pap's specific case, the pocket watching has intensified because his personal scandals are infinitely more relevant than professional output. His stans try to hype up his random podcast appearances and old industry connections. Meanwhile, his critics argue we have yet to see any tangible receipts from those phantom executive roles he claimed to hold, which is exactly where the commentary gets incredibly hostile. His loyalists swear he is making silent moves behind the scenes, while the skeptics feel a grown man should have way more to show for himself by now. And that is ultimately why these constant song teasers keep triggering such angry reactions. For the average listener, every single clip raises the exact same glaring question. What is the ultimate master plan here? Is there a legitimate career pivot in motion? Or is your entire strategy just hiding out in the studio and writing reactive bars about whatever trending topic is dominating your wife's timeline? That is the mystery the culture is trying to solve. Your friends will backdoor you. Your family will backdoor you. That is a paranoid narrative Pap keeps screaming about in this visual. But at some point, the audience is going to demand some real answers. When does this corny rollout end? How many more dramatic riddles, safe lyrics, and anonymous dices are we supposed to decode before a grown man explicitly states exactly who he has a problem with? That is exactly why the entire culture is completely over the smoke and mirrors. At the end of the day, I need your thoughts. Who do you think Pap is actually crying about in these lyrics? Do you believe these shots are targeting a specific person, or is he just preaching generic quotes about loyalty and betrayal to get attention? And does this preview actually clarify the drama, or does it just make this entire public divorce look infinitely more embarrassing? Drop your theories, receipts, and unfiltered opinions in the comment section below, because I already know this timeline is going to be completely chaotic. If you live for this drama, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this link with anyone who loves tracking messy celebrity meltdowns. Also, hit that notification bell so you never miss a single upload. Thank you for tapping in and breaking down the tea with me.